Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship. We are here for round number 5 of the 2021 Formula 2 Championship, which takes us to the Silverstone circuit for the British Grand Prix. Yes, F2 is finally back, ladies and gentlemen. The action at the Silverstone circuit continues on to Formula 2. And it should be a very, very exciting one indeed, considering how absolutely close the championship is at the moment. You have got 7 drivers separated on only 14 points. Any of these 7 drivers could take the championship lead here today. And we will just have to see how this round is going to play out. My name is Miran in the commentary booth today, here once again at Silverstone. We've got 20 minutes of qualifying just ahead of us. Axel Socki is the first man out, and as he's just about to start his flying lap, it is time to go through the track. So, the Silverstone circuit, nicknamed the home of British motor racing, was opened in 1948, making it one of the oldest tracks on the Formula 2 calendar. This track also hosted the first ever Formula 1 race all the way back in 1950, and the British Grand Prix name has been a staple of this circuit ever since its opening in 1948, with a 1-year break in 1986. Though I'm not sure where they actually went for 1986. But yeah, it's safe to say this track is an absolute staple of Formula 1. You've also got the British Motorcycle Grand Prix for MotoGP, BTCC, British GT. Obviously, big races at this track as well. You've got formerly the 4 Hours of Silverstone with the World Endurance Championship. You had the World Sports Car Championship, European Le Mans Series. Even Rallycross came here at one point. There's been so many different racing series, it's really difficult to just list off all of them here in just one big list, as there's been so much racing action over the long history of the Silverstone circuit, so it's kind of hard to just list off everything here. But this layout that we are running, the Arena Grand Prix circuit, which has been in place since 2011, is 5.891 kilometers long, features 18 turns, and as we're just having the first few lap times on the board, you can see that Axel Socki has set the benchmark lap time of a 1:46.712. Axel Socki as well only sits 1 point behind Rodrigo Jimenez in the championship. So they are very, very close to each other. I was talking about how I was solo in the commentary booth, but I think that will change now. Alongside me today, alongside me for the first time is Jensen. It's going to bring a new voice to the commentary booth, and well, yeah, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. This is probably the first time you've ever greeted me to a Discord call without mentioning a few horrible words.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, very, very happy to have you alongside here today for Formula 2. As we're just having the first few times on the board then. And yeah, you haven't really missed much in qualifying just yet. We're just having the first few times on the board, but I was also formally discussing the circuit itself, the Silverstone circuit, and I'll actually take this time to ask you, Jensen, about your general opinions on the track.
Obviously one of the classic tracks in motorsport, of course. originally being an RAF base. I think it was back in World War II, being an RAF base, then converted into a racetrack. It was the inaugural Grand Prix of Formula One back in 1950. I'm not sure if it hosted any tracks, because I know Formula One existed just before 1950. There was a whole like Grand Prix series in like the 1940s, just after World War II. But it's one of those like tracks that, if it's off the calendar, then I'm not watching F1 anymore. It's just one of those, like, it's just a staple on the calendar. It's just one of those tracks where it's got high speed corners, it's got low speed corners. You've got corners right now, it's like medium speed, lots of skill needed from the driver. And I think every driver enjoys this track to some capacity. I don't think anyone hates this track. You're coming up to the Max Verstappen corner of Copse Corner just now. Yeah, just one of those tracks where like, I think everyone can enjoy. I've been to Silverstone a few times. It's one of those tracks that's always got very lively atmosphere about it as well. So one of the staples of motorsport. What are your opinions on it, Brian?
Well, honestly, I share your thoughts as well. This is an absolute staple of any racing series that comes here. To be fair, we've come here so much in the ACOC as well, with so many different series. So yeah, it is certainly a classic, and the track, not only, as you said, just brings a little bit of everything, which brings a lot of enjoyment not only to the drivers but also the fans. Every corner has it has so much history to it as well, and there's a lot of legendary corners that obviously we've seen over the years. You've got corners like Abbey, Village, Brooklands and Luffield, Copse, Maggots and Beckett's, and Stowe as well. It just makes for a very, very interesting track. Indeed. But we're having the first few times on the board then at the moment. Right now it is Dams's Jean-Francois Bilon on pole position with a 1:46.6. The Frenchman sitting atop the timing sheets, as he usually does. Below having a very, very strong, he usually is very, very strong in qualifying, as we see Gabriel Gomez go up into 9th. But also, Jensen, if you haven't seen the championship standings,
I have
just yet. Well, okay, that's very, very good. You have. I think obviously heading into Silverstone, then round 5, you can see the championship is very close.
Very close, yeah.
So I'd just like to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, very, very interesting. You know, I've got the table in front of me right now. It's very close. How many drivers are still within like one race win of the title right now? It's like 9 drivers, goes all the way down to 9th, 23 points. I mean, even with the fastest lap point, you can include 10th place.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you here, Jensen. It seems that really Sundevik has gone off the track at the final corner. And we're going to see what happened here.
Oh.
Yeah, it jumps over the curb, and the car he's unable to get it running again. Car goes into stall. And that is the man who's 2nd place in qualifying. Unfortunately, stalling in the final corner, and we'll just have to see if if they will be able to get that car back into the pit lane.
Yeah, that's interesting. Mihail Valyak now driving around the track. I caught him before the qualifying session today. Asked for a few words, and it was just a jumble of racial slurs and abuse. No, but I don't think he was happy about the result last time out. Not getting any points after that race, winning back here. I think it's getting to him a bit.
Maybe, but Mihail Valyak, who's been, I have to say, absolutely electric since he's entered Formula 2, with his results and his overall pace, hasn't even done a full season, and he already has 3 wins under his belt. It's very, very similar to the last Croatian driver to compete in Formula 2, namely Tomas Mandic back in 2017. But yeah, Valyak trying to assert himself as a championship challenger, and I have to say, with a race win under his belt, he has done well in at least these first 4 races. Yeah,
so it's always very interesting to see drivers come into the Formula 2 series. It's always interesting to see like how well they're going to do, especially because they're graduating from Formula 3 in most cases. It's an entirely different car, I believe. I think Formula 3, they're still naturally aspirated. Formula 2's got the turbocharger.
Yes,
if
indeed,
I'm
it does.
correct, yeah. So it's always a challenge, especially with the turbo like in these cars. There is quite a delay when you put the throttle down for the turbo to kick in, and it catches a lot of drivers out the first time that they start going around the track. And if it's someone who comes into Formula 2 and they can just be straight on the game, straight into it, I think it shows for the future. I think it shows to a lot of the Formula 1 teams like what they've got coming through the junior series, the adaptability, especially what you're going to need in Formula 1. Especially when you're moving about teams, regulation changes, and all the handling characteristics of the car, they keep changing year in, year out. I think the adaptability is going to be something crucial, and something that the teams are going to be looking out for this season, especially in Formula 2. So Valjac's doing very well to put that car up there and to keep himself in the title fight, even with a few setbacks along the way.
Yes, indeed. I have to say, Valjak has always proven to be a man who can adapt to machinery, obviously. Having competed in, I think was it Porsche Super Cup last season. He did very, very well for himself there as well, which earned him a call-up to Formula 2 in the mid-season. And he did obviously very well on there. He even won on debut at the German Grand Prix last season, which was absolutely incredible to see. It was a really, really stunning drive from him in his first ever taste of Formula 2 machinery. So, Jensen, I think you are very, very correct on the fact that the person who is able to adapt to the difficult machinery like the Dallara Formula 2 car is going to be the one who could definitely make their mark and get up into Formula 1 quite possibly.
Yeah, it's very, very tight out there right now. Given how long the Silverstone circuit is, the fact that Aaron Curtis down in 18th place, only 4/10 off the fastest time. That is the kind of skill, the skill difference between the top and the bottom. It's not that much in Formula 2, but Curtis is going to have to fight a lot of time now down the stroke to see how close he is. He's a 10th down in Sector 1. Just going to have to see how he carries that through the lap. But yeah, one thing I want to point out is how much closer the constructor fight is compared to the driver's fight, because in the driver's standings, the top 5 are spread out by 10 points. In the constructor standings, it's the top 6. The top 6 are spread out by 10 points. It's very, very, very close in both title races in Formula 2. I think it's going to be very exciting come the end of the season if these gaps remain relatively close and we get some exciting battles in Abu Dhabi.
We can always hope so, but yeah, at the moment, the championship looking super, super close. Like it always is in Formula 2, to be honest. I feel like every year, well, bar last season, we've always had really, really close title fights heading into the final round of the race, or the season, I mean. And you think back to previous seasons, obviously, you've had so many different drivers who have just come and gone for the championship throughout the season. So I think it is going to be interesting indeed. But yeah, back to qualifying then. We've got 5.5 minutes to go then. Jean-Francois Bilon still is on provisional pole with Willy Sundevik in second, and then Michael Valjak in third. It's been a rather quiet qualifying session so far. We haven't had any major improvements, but as we do see in Formula 2, drivers tend to get a bit more up to speed in the later stages of the qualifying session. So yeah, I think those last few minutes are going to be the crucial ones where we could see things change.
Yeah, especially as the track starts to get a bit more rubber into it, as the drivers keep setting more and more laps, starting to lay a bit of rubber down, a bit more grip, and there's the car.
That's Olsen, gone off at a quite weird place. That's at the Vale chicane. Let's see what happened to Håkon Olsen, and there behind is, I believe that's Gabriel Gomez in the ART. And Gomez just gives him a tap, and Olsen parks it up at the side of the road. It's a bit naughty from Gabriel Gomez. I don't know if the Brazilian's going to get away with that one.
Wouldn't think so. Depends. I think Olsen was on a lap there, wasn't he?
I believe he was. I think he was, yeah. And
Yeah,
Gomez was on an out lap. So yeah, Gabriel Gomez was on an out lap while Olsen was on a flying lap. So I think there definitely could be reprimands for the ART man.
Definitely. I think he's put Olsen out there. Actually, Olsen's stalled it. He's got it stuck on the escape road, the little shortcut bit, just through at the exit on the final corner. Just watching Gomez now go around the track. I wonder if Gomez got any kind of damage from that, because even though it was a slight tap, could have messed up a little bit of the end plates, a little bit of the wing guts on that front wing. And especially on this part of the track now that it's entering, which is a very high downforce technical section of the track of Magnus and Beckett's, it's just going to go over the curves now. Can't really see too much struggle from the drive, because usually we've seen a lot of understeer now if there was some damage, but I think he's coping okay. I think the steward's now talking about a grid penalty coming his way though for that incident with Olsen.
Yeah, but it was quite a light touch between Gomez and Olsen, so I'm not sure that Gabriel would have any damage on that car. But yeah, those winglets on the front wing obviously are very, very sensitive and can snap off really, really easily. So you can be sure. You can see Håkon Olsen, the Norwegian, still parked on the side of the road as Gomez is about to round the final corner and across the line. He does not improve just yet. And Jensen will be going away for a tiny bit, so I'll just run these last few minutes solo. But yeah, we'll see then what the verdict for Gomez is going to be. So we look a bit further up the field. Jake Tillisley, currently in 5th, doing very well for himself as he hasn't gotten off to the strongest of starts in F2. Across the line goes Jake Tillisley, but stays in P5. Still though, good effort from him so far, as he is in 5th place at the moment. The 146.738. Championship leader Rodrigo Jimenez currently in 6th. Axel Socki in 2nd, currently in 4th. So Socki doing well for himself. Then you've got Michael Valjak in 3rd. So he is doing well. You got a few of the guys up top in the championship outside of the top 10. Looking at Henry J. Brown down in 20th. And Adam Hidayat as well in 21st. So, yeah, I would say they're a bit far down the field at the moment, but still 1.5 minutes to go in qualifying then, so anything can and will still happen, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll just have to wait and see if anyone is going to be able to challenge the Flying Frenchman, Jean-Francois Bilot, who has been, I have to say, he's had a very good record in qualifying at this track. I believe he took pole here last season, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was, yes. I'm not sure if it was. I think it was Daniel Fraser who maybe took it last season. But, yeah. Bilot has asserted himself as a very, very strong qualifier. That's to say the least. I think he is up there for the most poles of any Formula 2 driver in history. And we'll just see if Jean-Francois will be able to add that, or add another one to his tally here today, as Rodrigo Jimenez then rounds the final corner and goes across the line, doesn't find any improvement. And considering we've had so little improvements in qualifying, then it does beg the question if maybe it's not maybe the drivers, but it's maybe more the track conditions that are playing a part in this. Could obviously have temperatures drop, which leads to less grip and less rubber on the track. So you won't be able to get big improvements. You see Henry J. Brown coming across the line. Doesn't improve. Neither does Tobias Schulenberg. What about really Sundevik in second? Doesn't improve either. You can see everyone is just off the pace at the moment. As Gabriel Gomez comes across the line, and as the checker flag has fallen, Gomez doesn't improve. What about Ari Soilu in 12th? Let's see if he's going to be able to do anything here then as he goes across the line. Soilu doesn't improve. What about Thurnitor and Konkum? Is anyone going to be able to get an improvement here? I'm not sure. As Adam Hidayat now is going to go across the line. Hidayat doesn't improve. Rowan Shatanos doesn't either. What about Mihail Valyak? Valyak doesn't improve either. What is going on here in qualifying today? Because it is proving to be a rather unusual qualifying. Here in F2, Tilsley goes across the line. Doesn't improve. Neither does Nikhil Walji. And I don't think, if things stay like this, obviously, I don't think anyone is going to be able to get an improvement in. Gonna see then is Martinez going to be able to improve from last. He's 4/10 off Hidayat here. So Martinez not doing very, very well. Curtis doesn't improve. Rodrigo Jimenez doesn't improve either. Either Weitz in 8th is just going to come across the line. Weitz doesn't improve either. And I don't think anyone is going to get an improvement here. I think things are just going to stay as it is. 3 more cars coming across the line. None of them improving. And, well, this is obviously great news for Jean-Francois below. As we're going to have the final car across the line then, which will be Axel Socki. Not Axel Socki. Who's the final man across the line? Oh, it could be Håkan Olsen, but I'm not sure. Nope, there it is. That is qualifying done. And on pole position, once again, Jean-Francois Bilot takes pole for the British Grand Prix. And, well, I don't know if we'll have, Steward's verdict then. From qualifying, Gabriel Gomez will be receiving a 3-place grid penalty then for his collision with Håkan Olsen. So Gomez will be starting in P13. And that obviously will promote Schulenberg, Soilu, and Ollie Boaks up 1 position. But Jean-Francois Bilot doing very well in qualifying once again. And he has been a very, very consistent performer. Or not consistent, but he has been a very strong performer in qualifying over the years that he's been in Formula 2. But he just has never been able to convert that pole into a sought-after win. He still holds that 1 race win he took all those years ago at Baku. So I think Jean-Francois will be chasing his very sought-after 2nd win here today. Really, Sundevik in 2nd then, once again, turning out a very good qualifying effort. Usually, Sundevik is a bit on and off in terms of qualifying, but he could be on for a good result today. And Mihail Valek as well, qualifying P3. We'll see what the Croatian has in offer today. And obviously, as Jensen mentioned as well, Constructors' Championship looking very, very close as well. You've got the top 7 all separated on 13 points. So the top 7 very, very close. You've got HWA Race Lab in the lead of the championship at the moment by 3 points from Prema Racing, and then 5 points from Haruz, and then ART Grand Prix 6 points behind. So it is properly close in the championship, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll just have to wait and see what this race is going to bring in terms of surprises in the championship. Jean-Francois Bilot, who has had quite a poor start to the season as well. This is hopefully going to be able to give the Frenchman a newfound run of confidence, as he's only scored 6 points so far, which puts him second to last in the championship. So Bilot will be wanting to get up there in the championship. Obviously, not the greatest start he's had with his new Dams team. And we should be back then, and now we are on the grid here for Lights Out here at the British Grand Prix. And before we go lights out, it is time to go through the starting grid then. And on pole position, once again, Jean-Francois Bilot taking his first pole for Dams. And is Dams' first pole position? No, I believe this is their second consecutive pole position. It is, because Håkon Olsen took pole at France. So I think this is the first time we've had a team take 2 consecutive pole positions. Either way, accompanying Bilot on the front row is none other than Really Sundevik in the high-tech. P3 is Michael Valyak, followed by Axel Socki in 4th. 2 championship contenders occupying the second row, as Jake Tillisley starts in P5 with championship leader Rodrigo Jimenez in P6. Alex Luan starts a brilliant 7th, with Ide Weiss close behind the Vietnamese man in 8th, as Rowan Schotanus will start P9 with Tobias Schwulenberg rounding out the top 10. Ari Soido starts in 11th with Ollie Boaks P12. Gabriel Gomez, after his grid penalty, will start down in 13th, as Jokuba Zukauskas is P14. Then it's Sunyatorn Konkun, followed by Hwang Min Nguyen in 16th. Nikhil Walji starts in 17th with Aaron Curtis in 18th. Håkon Olsen is 19th with Henry J. Brown starting all the way down in 20th, followed by Adam Hidayat in 21st. And then taking the 22nd and final spot on the grid, Rosetta Martinez for UNI Virtuosi Racing. Right then, let's go down to the grid. 22 laps of action await us here at the Silverstone circuit as the lights are coming on below on pole position. And we're underway here at Silverstone. Good start for Bilot. Not as good of a start for Sundevik there behind. Valyak is immediately up and alongside, but he's gone out wide there, and someone is off. I think that looks like Tildesley, was it? Oh no, it isn't. That's Nguyen, and I think Jimenez as well. Rodrigo Jimenez, the championship leader, is off at turn 1, and that is a catastrophe for the Brazilian who started in P6. That will not do him any wonders, as here's Ide Weiss now fighting Jake Tillisley for P5 in this race. But yeah, we've immediately got a few DNFers. Nikhil Walji is out of the race. Rodrigo Jimenez is down into last, as here is Gomez then fighting Rowan Schotanus for 10th position, as the ART man's trying to claw his way through the order after his grid penalty. But Gomez on the outside line there runs a bit wide, and we'll have to stay in P11 for the time being. Ari Soiler then behind the Finn in 12. We'll be looking to make up a few positions here. As here's Aaron Curtis almost making it 3 wide, but just has to back out of that. Still got a pretty good run then, trying to make the move on Thunyatorn Konkomirs. The two are going to go side by side, but there's a bit of wheel banging between the two. Curtis, though, round the outside line through Maggots, is going to try and get it done on Thunyatorn Konkum, as we're having a great battle here, but heading out of Chapel is going to be Curtis, who is momentarily ahead then Thundertorn combined, trying to focus on chasing Aaron Curtis, but Håkon Olsen's going to have a look on the inside line of Thundertorn Konkum, trying to make amends for what happened in qualifying. Olsen's going to try and punch his way past the Thai driver here to try and go up a few positions through the Vale chicane. He has the inside line, and Olsen gets up into P15. Great stuff from Håkon Olsen. So we're now seeing Tobias Schulenberg chasing down Alex Luan for 7th position in this race. The lone Prema in the points now. That is not going to do them well in the championship either. So yeah, don't think they'll be very happy about that. So there's Henry J. Brown having a look on the outside line of Adam Hidayat through I think that was Aintree, but just wasn't able to do anything there. As Gabriel Gomez, late on the race through Brooklands, is going to try and get himself back up into the points, as he's going to go round the outside line through Lovefield, but runs a bit wide. And Ari Soilu immediately takes advantage of it and sails through on the Brazilian to get up into P12, or P11, sorry, as Jokuba Zukauskas was having a look on Gabriel Gomez there. Zukauskas, though, is going to face pressure from Aaron Curtis as well. Curtis looking racy in these opening laps of the race, but Zukauskas able to hold off Aaron Curtis for the time being, but the Irishman runs very wide then as he was trying to chase down Zukauskas through Maggots, and that's lost him quite a bit of time, and it's allowed Håkon Olsen to catch up there back in 15. So we'll see if Olsen's going to be able to use this momentum to try and get past the Campos driver. And I think if we could get a replay on what happened in turn 1 on the opening lap there, we are going to get that. Thank you. Rodrigo Jimenez as well will not be happy about this, I'm sure of it. So we're going to see the onboard of what happened to Rodrigo Jimenez. You can see Jake Tillisley moved over quite a bit there on the inside, and he just loses it on his own. I think that is on his own. We're going to see the Vite behind. There is Rodrigo Jimenez, and yeah, he just loses it on the curb. And yeah, unfortunately for Rodrigo, that's on his own. I thought it was some contact or something there, but we'll see what happened to Jaime Nguyen as well here behind. He was trying to go onto the inside line and Ron Shotanis there. Shotanis cuts him off, and just collects Nikhil Walji there. Loses control, and Walji, I think, tried to take avoidance there, just couldn't, which is a shame. But yeah, either way, Jean-Francois Bilot now sets the fast lap in the race as we approach lap 3 out of 22 here at the British Grand Prix. Aaron Curtis then chasing down Jokuba Zukauskas as ART now at 12th and 13th here. Gabriel Gomez not too happy about losing out his P11 to Ari Soiles. He was potentially fighting for getting into the points as well, but it is a long race, so it's just about keeping your head down, really. Jean-Francois Bilot then has gotten off to a strong start as he sits in first. It's really Sundvik 1.4 seconds behind in second, and Michael Valyak 2.4 behind Sundvik in third. So Valyak hasn't had the greatest of starts either. I believe he actually was maybe involved in something. We're going to see Tobias Schulenberg. Is he going to go on to Jake Tillisley, or sorry, Alex Luan? He is. Luan tries to shove him out wide there, but Schulenberg remains adamant and pulls off a brilliant move around the outside line through Beckett's, and it is going to be Schulenberg who goes up into 7th. Great stuff from the German, as Ollie Boaks will now try and be the next man to get past Alex Luan here. He's going to go down the inside line into Stowe Corner. Boaks in his home race is going to try and get past Alex Luan as we head into the Vale chicane now. Wheel to wheel they will be as Luan goes over the curb. Boaks on the inside line gets it done, but I think he did run a bit wide on exit there. So I think that may just allow Alex Luan to at least keep close proximity to the Brits. Either way, good stuff from Ollie Boaks, and that will see the Brits in the high-tech go up into 8th. Now looking at Jake Tillisley, piling on the pressure to Axel Socki in 4th. Ida Weitz is there as well in 6th. And we'll see what is going to be happening here. Here's Alex Luan then. He's fighting Rowan Shotanis now. It is not looking good for Alex Luan. He might be in risk of losing yet another position here, as Shotanis will stay behind Alex Luan for the time being. Ari Soilu is going to try and get past the Dutchman here on the outside, but he might just run a bit too wide, and he does so. Gabriel Gomez is going to come back for revenge on the Finn, just like Ari Soilu did on Gabriel Gomez a few laps earlier. Ari Soilu we'll pull it off here as well, as I think that was Zukaushkas almost making it 3 wide. Soilu in a bit of an ART Grand Prix sandwich here, trying to desperately not be stuck in this here, as he's now going to be fighting Jakubas Zukaushkas for position. Here's Jake Tillisley then swinging around the outside line of Axel Socki. Isn't able to quite complete the move just yet. Socki with the DRS is going to hang on here. Great racing we're having in these opening laps, as Axel Socki in the HWA is going to remain on the inside line of Jake Tillisley, the two going wheel to wheel then, as we now head into the Vale chicane. Who is going to be last on the brakes? I think it is going to be Axel Socki who gets past as Ida Weitz tries to punch his way through, and he does so. Oh no! Over the curb and spinning round and out of the British Grand Prix. Ida Weitz puts himself out of contention. Oh, big crash. And I think that is one of the UNI cars. That is, Thundertorn Kong come out, and Håkon Olsen as well. Calamity at Vale, or sorry, Club. Bunch of cars out. Konkum able to continue, but with damage. Olsen and Weitz out of the British Grand Prix. What has happened there? Big drama then. We'll just have to see what happens. And this is Håkon Olsen then, involved in all the battling. Konkum swings around the outside lines on the inside. Oh, big crash. And he just went too wide. Got collected there a bit by Martinez. And then Weitz, as we just saw him, obviously, pulled off a very good move, but he was on the wrong line. And that's the danger of sausage curbs as well in motorsports. You go over them and just completely ruins your race like that. Ida Weitz, such a shame for him as well. He was doing so well today. It's going to be big points lost for the Swede. But yeah, this has thrown the field in disarray somewhat then, as Gabriel Gomez now chasing down Alex Luan. Here is Gabriel Gomez then in P10. He's going to try and get up into P9. Started P13. Immediately tries to make yet another battle for the points position go his way, as Gabriel Gomez then side by side with Luan round the outside line through Vale. He's going to have the inside line coming out of it. Gets a poor exit, but it's fine for Gabriel Gomez as the Brazilian goes up into 9th. Good stuff from Gabriel Gomez. And he now claims yet another points-paying position for himself. Looking at Ari Soilu, he'd like to be the next man to get past Alex Luan as well, as he is piling on the pressure on Alex Luan. He spots the gap, tries to have a look through the loop. Is he able to line up alongside him to Aintree? Yes, he is. He's there on the inside line and is ahead and gets past. Good stuff from Ari Soilu there. And his teammate, it's going to be double trouble for Luan, as the other Campos is going to try and get past Aaron Curtis. It's going to try to go round the outside line through Brooklands and into Luffield. It's going to have the inside line. This could play brilliantly into the Irishman's hands, and it just has. Curtis going up into P11. Jakubas Zukauskas is going to try and capitalize on this as Luan gets a poor exit. It is turning out to be a nightmare for Alex Luan here, but everyone is able to get up another position here. But not Jakubas Zukauskas just yet. Unfortunately, the Lithuanian is going to have to stay behind for the time being in P13 and just bide his time. Then he's going to have a good shot at trying it, heading out of Maggots and Beckett. So there's obviously going to be the DRS available to his aid. He's going to have to focus on maximizing his exits out of Chapel. But yeah, Luan with the DRS as well, so Zukauska's not having too big of an advantage down the hangar straight. Here is Tobias Schulenberg then. In P5, he is chasing down Axel Socki for 4th at the moment. Schulenberg, who properly contended for the title last season, obviously, has gotten off to a little bit of a slow start in the season, went pointless in the first 3 races and only just scored his first points of the season at Paul Ricard. But he seems to at least be able to carry on the momentum here, and he stays where he is. Schulenberg then heading down the hangar straight. He's got the DRS on Axel Socki here. Is he going to be able to do anything on the Norwegian? Not quite yet. 3/10 separates the two at the moment, so Schulenberg is going to have to just wait a tiny bit longer, I do think, and just be a bit more patient with himself at the moment. As we're now seeing Aaron Curtis chasing down Ari Soilu. Welcome back, Jensen.
Hello.
You have missed quite a hectic first 8 laps. We've had a few accidents, a few overtakes, and a lot of things. But just to keep you updated, you had Rodrigo Jimenez starting in 6th. He went down to last after an accident on the opening lap. You had Ide Weitz, who spun out as well, spun out of the race and DNF'd. And well, yeah, apart from that, we're just having the regular midfield battles going on.
I mean, there's a big gap at the top there for the lead, 2.5 seconds already. When you consider how close qualifying was, it's quite a chunky gap. I think there's quite a breakaway, isn't there? There's the top 2 drivers, and then it's 6 seconds to the rest of the field. This little battle, or this little train that you're seeing now coming through Maggots and Beckett's. It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to change over the race. Who can come out on top of this train? It's like the Truly train from the 2000s.
Not in the same magnitude, I'd say. Just
not the same magnitude. Not the same magnitude.
Yeah. But Axel Socki, who was obviously holding off Tobias Schulenberg earlier, as we're going to go further down the grid. Here's Zukauskas fighting Alex Luan as the two go side by side. Then Zukauskas on the inside line here. He's going to have the outside line heading into the Vale chicane as the two go wheel to wheel. Luan just over the curb, and Zukauskas does become the next man to get past Alex Luan. Luan struggling a lot as well, considering he qualified P7. He's just gone down position after position. But, Jensen, now we go back to the fight for the top 3. Michael Valiak is now facing pressure from Axel Socki, and you might just have a look here.
Yeah, if you can get the 4 down now, he's just going to go now. Can you keep that inside line? Bit sketchy there. I think he turned in a bit too early. He had to correct out of it. Now he's got DRS coming down the straight. He's going to go wheel to wheel now. I think Valiak's going to have lost the place there unless Valiak can hold it round the outside, which I don't think he's going to do here. But actually he does. Keeps it into the inside of the next corner. Onto the old pit straight. He's ran a bit wide though. I think he thinks like he hit the gravel there a bit. think he's going
Yes, Soki did. Sorry, I started cutting in, but Soki did go with the gravel there, and Schwulenberg's going to try and take advantage of this. Down the inside line through Kops, he will go to try and get up into 4th here, and this battle for 3rd is just becoming more and more spicy. Now Schwulenberg and Soki will go side by side, but it is going to be the German Tobias Schwulenberg who does get Axel Soki for 4th, and now looks to be the favorite to get up into the podium here.
Yeah, and as he keeps squabbling, that front 2 just keeps getting further and further ahead. That gap's increased now to 8.5 seconds between the top 2 and Valyak in 3rd. Valyak, of course, valiant defense, holding on to keep P3, keep his place on the podium. As you're just watching now, Aaron Curtis just coming now up behind Soilu. A couple of tenths away from me, I think, trying to make a move into the chicane, or just sticking with him through the chicane. Exiting now onto the short pit straight, one of the shortest pit straights on the calendar. I was going to compare it to other pit straights, but I have no wheel knowledge, so
it's fine. But yeah, the 2 Campos drivers then fighting for P10 is quite interesting. Considering one hasn't scored points this season and is the only driver to not have scored points in Formula 2 yet. Aaron Curtis will be chasing his first points here at Silverstone, but yeah, we'll see how that is gonna play out. But Campos haven't really had the strongest of starts this season. As we go back to the top 3, Tobias Schwulenberg still in hot pursuit of Michael Valyak. Valyak then, as you did say, very strong on defense so far, but you can tell that the pace just isn't there. As I'm going to interrupt myself here, Axel Soki might go down another position as Jake Tildesley tries to get past, but I'm going to be interrupted once again. Here's Tobias Schwulenberg going to try to go around the outside line. Valyak almost forces him off, so close to contact, but Schwulenberg, bravery at the maximum there, goes around the outside line and through into the podium. That was brilliant from Tobias Schwulenberg.
But yeah, now Valyak's going to have the DRS. I don't think it's going to be strong enough to catch back up. I think it's just not that close enough now. I think the move probably shocked him a bit, probably startled him a bit, startled us in the commentary box. But now you can see the truly train. Stuff you, Miran. That is a truly train right there.
Yeah, it is growing a bit larger from this last thing, from when we saw it last, as Ari Soilu is just holding off his teammate Aaron Curtis at the moment. Not very, very friendly relations at the moment between the two, as they are just giving it their all to fight for this P10. But they've also got to worry about Zukauskas there behind. The Lithuanian could try and put a spanner in the works of both Campos cars and maybe drop both of them out of the top 10 here.
Yeah, which would be very, very detrimental to Campos, considering that they're still bottom of the championship. I think if they really, really want to secure some points here, I think there's going to have to be some team orders coming into play. But I don't know if the drivers will care that much. I mean, considering Curtis, after his first points, is Curtis just going to ignore that? Is he just going to keep trying to push for that move, for that overtake, to get some valuable points on the board? Because at the end of the day, these drivers are trying to show off to the world of Formula One. They want to be a part of that world of Formula One. And I don't think they're going to hold their places and just sit around and let team orders dictate what they're going to do. I think Curtis is going to be trying to push for P10. He's sticking with his teammate, even though his teammate has had better performances in races recently. I think Ari Soilu being a much better driver than Curtis. Curtis still keeping with him, trying to show that he's got a point to prove. So just watching now with Saki with DRS. Getting closer, he's moved to the inside line, and it's going to make a dive bomb here. Yes, he is. It's very, very close. Looks very, very close as Valyak runs a bit wider. Now Valyak now down into P5. He was P3 earlier. Valyak with the inside line. It's going to switch now. And I think Saki got a very bad exit there. Valyak now goes over the curb.
Yeah, Michael Valyak is gonna. You can tell he's struggling with pace, and it's just gonna become worse as we are gonna have all these drivers now with so close proximity of each other. Tillersley tried on Mihail Valyak, wasn't able to get past. Here's Rowan Choltanos having a bit of a fight with, I think that's Ollie Bogues and Gabriel Gomez as well now. He's going to try and get up another position here. Let's see what the Brazilian is going to be able to do as he fights the Dutchman in the MP Motorsport. Gomez on the inside line, through Aintree they go. Both of them is going to have the DRS, but Choltanos just got the marginally better exit there. And I think he is going to be able to hold ahead of the Brazilian for the time being.
Yes, is now just going to go ahead. I think we're just going to see just some excellent racing going on around the field right now, just on Hidayat right now. Up to Tilsley now, who's in P6. You said he started P11?
Gomez?
Tilsley.
Oh, Tilsley? No. I think he started P5, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. So mid-driver. Anyways, watching now, I thought Tilsley was going to go straight on there with a bit of Tildesley. I keep saying Tilsley, it's Tildesley. Tildesley with a bit of understeer there on the entry of Maggots, I believe. Runs a bit wide. He's got the DRS now. Down the main straight he goes. He's going to use the slipstream to get a little bit closer. He's obviously way too far back to try and make a move. A bunch of cars with DRS here. Hidayat now is going to make a move. Down the inside he goes. I think he's going to make it stick. Yes, he is. Luan goes a bit wide and just being informed of the starting positions. Yes. So Gomez start P13. Yeah, Tildesley confirmed. Yeah, P5 start.
Yeah, at the moment then, Tildesley is still in this fight then for P5 at the moment, but he's got to worry about fellow home hero Ollie Bogues there in 7th. So we'll see what the fellow Brit is going to be able to do then as well.
Yes, so now just watching Tildesley now. Tildesley enter Brooklands. Oh my god. I can't say names today. Half a second now behind Valyak. Valyak dropping down the field. As we're going to see now Henry J. Brown also through Brooklands trying to make a move on Luan. Luan also moving down the field. Luan starting P7. Might be down to P15 by the end of the lap once DRS kicks in. Henry J. Brown now in towards Cop's corner we go. Just holding behind a bit, just staying back a bit. I think he's going to use a bit of that DRS down the main straight. Luan, of course, hasn't scored any points since the opening round in Bahrain. Henry J. Brown, on the other hand, winning in Spain, I believe.
Yeah, it was. Henry's gotten off to a bit better of a start than his teammate Alex Luan. Luan has had a bit of a slump in these last few races, but Henry J. Brown is going to try and go to the inside line of his Harus teammate then, as the two are going to go wheel to wheel down into Vale. It's going to be Brown on the outside line then. Is he going to be able to pull this one off? Yes, he does, and he pulls it off with ease as well. Good stuff from Henry J. Brown, and he gets past his teammates.
Yeah, Henry J. Brown on a charge through the field right now. Started P20 up into P14 and passing his teammate who started 13 positions above him. Just shows the contrasting fortunes of the drivers there. The drivers for Charuz. The Portuguese driver must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, indeed. He'll be very happy to make up a lot of positions, but obviously P14 doesn't really yield points, and points is what is important when you are in a championship battle like he is at the moment. As we go further up the field, we look at Jake Tildesley, who is still on the back of Mihail Valyak, and there is a bit of a train forming behind the Croatian at the moment. Yeah,
and Valyak still in title contention at 10 points behind Jimenez, who currently is down in P17. So Jimenez probably going to lose the lead today of the driver's title. I don't really see anyone up there in the top three. I think Saki, maybe. Yeah, Saki and Peter. I think if my maths is correct, Saki should take over the lead of the driver's title today. My math is probably horribly wrong.
You're right on that. He should.
He should do, yeah, if things stay as they are.
Yeah. And Rodrigo Jimenez will definitely just be punching himself for that mistake that he made on lap 1. Heading into turn 1, he just took way too much curb and spun the car around. And he was able to get it going, but when you start P6 and then go down to last, obviously you're going to be frustrated, especially when you're leading a championship. So, Jimenez won't be too happy about himself, but Axel Socchi is going to be delighted if things stay as they are.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just racing, isn't it? There are good days, there are bad days. I think this is probably one of Jimenez's bad days. Doesn't mean that he's going to be down and out of it. Because I think Socchi's going to take the lead of the title, but Socchi isn't going to be scoring too many points as it stands. It's only 12 points for 4, which is quite a lot of points, but it's not as much as winning a race. That's still less than half of winning a race, which I think Billo is on his way to doing right now, and probably kickstart his season, considering he's down in 21st in the standings, only on 6 points. This win could be absolutely massive for him. Just watching now the cars enter through Maggots and Beckett's. Saw that insane overtake early on.
Yeah, it was. We've had a few very, very interesting overtakes through Maggots and Beckett so far, but I have to say that one from Tobias Schulenberg to get up into third was brilliant. Valiak tried to defend as best as he could, maybe even defended a bit too aggressively, I think some would say, but Schulenberg didn't mind that at all, still went round the outside line and showed a lot of bravery as well to be able to pull off a move like that, so it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, just seeing now all the cars crossing over the line. Just currently with Aaron Curtis for a bit. Still a bit of a stalemate between him and Soilu for P10, the final points paying position. I think Curtis would really, really love for some points today. Obviously, I mentioned earlier, only driver to not score any points so far this season, which you can sort of forgive him for, because this is only the 5th race, but at the same time, it's probably not doing him any favours having that on his mind, knowing that he's the only person in the field to not have scored points yet.
Yeah, it is probably the worst position you'd want to be in as a racing driver, the last in the championship. But as you said, Jensen, it's only round 4 of the championship, or round 5, sorry. We will still have 7 more rounds after this one, and Aaron Curtis had a bit of a look on Ari Soilu there. He's actually going to try and maybe go up alongside his teammate here. Oh, very, very close between the two, but Curtis is able to hold it on the outside line there as the two are going to go wheel to wheel. Curtis is going to go on the outside line through Chapel. Has he got the move done on his teammate? Not quite. He is ahead, but Soilu's going to have the DRS. And he's going to go... He's going to go down the inside line of his teammate. The two Campos cars dueling for the first points-paying positions, as Soilu is going to be there on the outside line. Jokuba Zukauskas behind is going to try and pick up the scraps and battle, but Ari Soilu puts his teammate in his place and will stay in 10th for the time being. But great battle between the two Campos cars.
Yes, Curtis thinking that he had the move done there through Maggots and Beckett's, but of course the DRS down the hangar straight, keeping Soilu in play, and I think Curtis probably going to be a bit demotivated from that. Probably thought he had the move done with such an excellent move through Maggots and Beckett's, but it's just been snatched away from him coming out of Vale. I don't believe. Did Curtis not have his DRS open there?
I'm not sure.
I didn't see any DRS on Curtis. I don't know if the detection zone was a bit funky or if he's got an issue with his DRS. Looking further up the field now, we've got Gomez. very, very close to a name that Miran can pronounce for me.
Yeah, that is Rowan Shortanis in 8th then, as Gabriel Gomez runs a bit wide through Maggots. And that is not going to do him any wonders. But we're going to see the two Campos cars fighting each other then. As Curtis is going to go on the outside line through Chapel. He has the DRS this time. That should be enough for Aaron Curtis heading into Stowe Corner. But we'll just have to wait and see if Soil is going to be able to defend. Curtis is as late on the brakes as humanly possible. And I think that will do it for Aaron Curtis, as Zukauskas is now going to try to go into Ari Soilu. There's Adam Hidayat behind trying to get involved into all this. Zukauskas swings it round the outside line and is going to get past Ari Soilu. And just like that, in 2 corners, Ari Soilu goes down 2 positions, and Aaron Curtis gets himself into the points.
Yes, and now Aaron Curtis will be looking to hold on now. 5 laps to go here, if I am correct. Unless Assetto Corsa does that funky wonky thing with the laps. Seeing now Hidayat down in P13. I think there's a bit of a DRS train forming here. I've already said truly train about 5 times. You can probably put that on a bingo card. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is the fact that we've seen Curtis and Soilu fight so much with each other. They've just lost time on the guys ahead. You can see Curtis is 4.1 seconds behind Gabriel Gomez. So realistically, especially considering there's 4 laps to go. There is 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We've really been carried away here. We forgot about the time. But Curtis most likely won't be able to get up to Gabriel Gomez. And considering probably how much he's been pushing and burning those tires behind Ari Soilu, fighting him so much, I think he's just kind of gonna stay there, and well, you wouldn't be surprised if there will be a train forming behind him.
I know. I just want to point out how much Sundervik has fell off of Billow for P1. I swear the gap was only like 2 seconds, probably about 5 or 6 laps ago. I don't know what's happened there, whether Sundervik's burnt the tyres up or if Bilow's found 7th gear or something different, illegal modification to his Formula 2 car. But yeah, I think to say that he's P21 in the standings, Bilow's done a really excellent job of controlling the race from the front. And to open such a gap to himself and the rest of the field, I mean, if you can look at the track map, he's already down into Brooklands, which is absolutely incredible considering half the field now is just coming towards Aintree, which is absolutely massive in Formula 2, a massive gap.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible, I have to say. And Jean-François Bilot, I think more the fact that it's just like a sudden win. Jean-François Bilot has been on the grid since the series inception in 2017. So he is one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, and on his day he is absolutely unstoppable. But Bilot, it's been 45 races since his last race win. He's had so many poles to his name. That's Tildesley running a bit wide, but yeah, considering there's 3 laps to go, and we don't know what's gonna happen in those 3 laps, but assuming things stay like they are, he has waited a long time for this win. It's safe to say.
Yes, I think he's probably very deserving. As my throat just goes a bit, it's like Murray Walker said, got a lump in my throat watching this. Probably one of the more deserving drivers for a win. A lot of drivers having to probably wait out for their first win. Below, obviously, lots of poles, very little given back to him from that. So I'm happy to see him finally get his win. Yeah.
It is so good to finally see him back on top, but we'll just have to wait then for these last 2 laps to take place, because there's a lot of battles that still need to be wrapped up here, and one of them is the one we're currently looking at, the fight for P5 between Michael Wallach, Jake Tildesley, Ollie Boaks, and everyone else there involved as well. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see. Tillersley, home hero, will be wanting to nick a few more points to his name here.
Yeah. Just watching now, there's just a massive train now forming up behind Valyak. Maybe when you start calling it the Valyak train, I am so funny. Mihail Valyak now coming through Carps with about 4 cars on his tail. I think it's from P6 to P9, all following him. I think it's spread over a gap of about 1.5 seconds. That is a
Oh no! There is actually contact,
and he's gone off. No, he's going to come across.
Oh! And that's ruined it for both of the Brits. Ollie Boakes goes off as well, trying to avoid Jake Tillersley, and that is gonna put the Brit in the high tech out. I think Ollie Boakes is out. Late drama here at Silverstone as Tillersley and Boakes make contact, and well, what is there to say about that?
I know that was absolutely mental. I think Tildersley just lost it a bit. I don't know if it was from contact with the car in front there. Don't know who it was. I think it was Valyak. He made contact with Valyak, and he's just lost it coming through Beckett's, and he's corrected it. It's just an overcorrection into the grass, and he's just corrected on the grass, and it's brought him straight back across the track. And unfortunately, Boakes has just been on the receiving end of it. Nothing Boakes could do there. It's so disappointing for Boakes to think that he could get some points at his home Grand Prix, and that has just been taken from him in an accident that wasn't his fault.
Yeah, that's such a shame, and especially considering his form he's just coming off as well, scoring a podium at France. But yeah, such a shame for Ollie Boakes. But we'll have to get the replay on that, I'd say, to just judge who was actually at fault of the incident, because Valyak obviously did move over, and I think Tillersley just panicked and lost control. You can see here, so close there. And I think there was contact. Was there contact?
There was contact. There was contact between Tildersley front right wing end plate, and I think it was the rain light on Valyak. I think it was a very minor contact, but it's obviously enough in that part of the track to disturb him. I wouldn't say... It's hard to say Valyak moved over on him. It's hard to say, because it's like he's following the racing line through that part of the track. It's his line to take.
I think this would... I mean, obviously it's not my decision to take, but I think this is... Oh, look at that rear wing.
That rear wing's been taken off.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see now. I think... Is that them in front?
Yeah, that is. And Ollie Boakes, who was leading his little pack, Tillersley goes off and... Oh, just can't do anything there, can he?
No. I mean, by the time he would have realised that Tildersley was coming back on the track, there would have been nothing he could have done there. Because he can't really just turn out of it, because otherwise he would have gone straight on. It's questionable from Valyak, the rejoin, but it's like, was there anything Valyak could do there? Considering he was trying to defend from the car on the inside. He's got to keep it pinned through the corner. I think a good onboard shot of Valyak would probably help us here, try and establish what basically went wrong for him. I think just going to see now is through the exit of carbs. So it's going to have, you can see in the bottom right, Tildersley in his mirrors. There on the left, so he's obviously left enough room at car's width there, and he's just, I think the corner was just a bit too sharp for him.
I think because you can see he lost control, like he was sliding.
He was sliding. I think he's left enough room for Tildersley, but not enough room for himself on the corner. The thing.
I feel like
watching his mirrors.
Yeah, because I feel like obviously him coming over, I don't think it was actually meant for him to like try and shut the door on Tillersley, but it was a mistake from Mihail, and I think that just scared Jake. And then just as slight as it touches, you can't really blame anyone on that contact, really.
Yeah, cause it wasn't like Valyak's moved across on him. Valyak was already there. It was just the manner that he was there that shocked Tildersley a bit, and Tildersley's not reacted in enough time to avoid the collision. But you can't really blame him.
Yeah,
can't really blame Tildersley for that.
And then obviously Jake was out of control when he was rejoining. So the region. I don't think it was deliberate on Ollie Bogues. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the stewards will have to say about that. But yeah, late drama here at Silverstone, and it's dropped Tillersley down to 8th, and it's dropped Ollie Bogues out of the race. Michael Valjak remains in 5th.
I think he's going to remain there now. The gap behind him, it's just completely opened up now. So you can't dropping a banana behind you in Mario Kart.
Yeah, it is. And Rowan Shortanos behind Valek at the moment is facing quite a lot of pressure from Gabriel Gomez here, who could go up another position. He started P13 this race, and he is now fighting it out for P6. I have to say, this is an incredible recovery drive from Gabriel Gomez. So he is doing very well for himself right now.
Yeah, Gomez now, I think he's just got his lap. He's just got to keep it cool. He's got the Wellington Straight to come. He's got the Hangar Straight. He's got loads of places he could make this move. He doesn't have to be too desperate about it. But now's the time to start thinking about where he's going to do it. Gomez now with the DRS wide open down the straight in towards Brooklyn we go now. Too far behind to make a move unless he's going to do the whole send it round the outside. Don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. That would have just been like the Ronaldo moment, just like too far to think about it. They just absolutely dives him and kills him.
Maybe. Either way, then Gomez will just have to see if he's going to be able to do something. He's very close on the back of Rowan Shortanos here. And heading into Maggots then. Is he going to be able to try something here? Not quite. He will have to stay behind.
And we'll just have to keep an eye on that now as see Billow now entering Vale.
Yeah.
Take his first win in God knows how long.
Yeah. It has been, we're going to see Gabriel Gomez. He's going to fight it here, and he's going to try and go to the inside line. As they are wheel to wheel, then this is going to go down to the final corner, I do presume. Gabriel Gomez then into Vale is going to have he's going to go round the outside line. Is he going to be able to hold off Shortanos for P6? Yes, he is. But it is going to be the man in P1 who's waited 4 seasons and 45 races for this win. Jean-Francois Bilot is back on top, and he wins the British Grand Prix. Wow. Finally, we see the Frenchman, the high-flying Frenchman, back on top. Bilot is back in the P1 spot, and how long it has been as well. And yeah, that is it.
And that is it, yeah.
It has been, I have to say, this has been a very, very good race. We've had a lot of action, a lot of drama, and yeah, I think it has been very exciting. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, very, very exciting. Just want to point out Aaron Curtis now up into P9, so his first points of the season. Well done, Aaron Curtis. He's still bottom of the standings, so you can still laugh at him for that. I've just realised now, as the championship table is going to be laid out to us, the podium today, all outside the top 9 in the standings at the start of today. You've got Sundervik, who was P10, finishing second, and first and third was Schwellenberg, P20th, finishing third, and then P21, Jean-Francois Bilot. Yeah, I think it's been a very underdog podium.
But I have to say, it's good to see that as well, because it just brings the championship more closer. So yeah, you don't really see us complaining, I would suppose. But yeah, just speeding through the final classifications. Then Jean-Francois Bilot, pole win and fastest lap. Great stuff to see. It's been a brilliant weekend for the Frenchman, and he takes the win here. Really, Sundervik second, and then Tobias Schwellenberg rounding off the podium. That's Axel Socki finishing 4th with Michael Valjak in 5th. Gabriel Gomez, a brilliant drive from him today as he finishes P6. Then it is Rowan Shortanos in 7th. Jake Tillisley will take 8th as Aaron Curtis finishes 9th, securing his first points of the season. And then Jokubas Zukauskas is 10th. Then it is Ari Soilu finishing 11th with Adam Hideat in 12th. Alex Luan and Henry J. Brown, the two Juarez cars, finishing 13th and 14th. Rosetta Martinez is P15 with Rodrigo Jimenez. A day to forget for him today as he finishes 16th. And the final finisher, Signator Konkum. And the non-finishers are Ollie Boaks, Ide Weitz, Håkon Olsen, Hwangmin Nguyen, and Nikhil Walji. And, well, yeah, that has been it then today for Formula 2. Thanks so much for watching. But before we go, it's time to answer the age-old question, Jensen, of driver of the day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, it's a difficult one. It always is. But personally, I'm going to give this one to Tobias Schulenberg from P10 to P3. That is one hell of a way to claim a podium, I have to say. And he pulled off some brilliant overtakes as well today and secured a very, very deserved podium in my eyes. So Tobias Schulenberg gets my driver of the day. What about
Your
you?
driver of the day. I think I'm going to give it, and I think it's going to be a bit of probably a bit of whiplash here. Aaron Curtis, P18 to P9 to claim his first points of the season. It's always nice to see one of the back markers, obviously having a good race, getting his first points of the season, of course. And yeah, so that's my driver of the day.
Yeah, but there you go then. Tobias Schulenberg and Aaron Curtis are our drivers of the day. But yeah, that has been it then for Formula 2. Thanks so much for watching, but the action at the Silverstone circuit does not stop here. We've got the main event, the Formula 1 British Grand Prix up next, and obviously that one is going to be quite a thriller as well, so make sure to not miss that. Super Formula will also be on whenever we find the time for that. So yeah, make sure to not miss that. Until then, I have been Miran.
And I've been Jensen.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you when the ACC returns for the Formula 1 British Grand Prix. Thank you.